have an army of digital soldiers, what we call citizen journalists.
Shadow banning prominent Republicans is bad. Is that true?
No.
Barri Weiss has just dropped part 2 of the Twitter files, exposing the social media company's secret blacklists. Ready for this one? Stanford's Dr. J, who argued that COVID lockdowns would harm children, Twitter secretly placed him on a trends blacklist, which prevented his tweets from trending. Or consider the popular right-wing talk show host Dan Bongino, who at one point was slapped with a search blacklist. Twitter set the account of conservative activist Charlie Kirk to do not amplify, and Twitter denied that it does such things. In 2018, Twitter's then head of legal policy and trust and head of products said, "We do not shadow ban." They added, "And we certainly don't shadow ban based on political viewpoints or ideology." So they lied. One senior Twitter employee said, "Think about visibility filtering as being a way for us to suppress what people see to different levels. It's a very powerful tool." More. Think about visibility filtering as being a way for us to suppress. Yes, we had that one. All right. Let's bring in Fox Business reporter Kelly O'Grady, who's been following the story as it unfolds. So a secret blacklist that they lied about, Kelly. What is happening here?
I know, it's so interesting, Jesse, and of course, leave it to Elon Musk to keep us all held hostage on a Thursday evening like he did for last Friday. But I think it's interesting. You got to remember that part 1 was rife with controversy after it came out that the FBI's former general counsel was vetting that. So the fact that this is now coming out and we're finding that shadow banning was actually a thing and that they called it, what was it? The visibility, visibility filtering. Yeah, it kind of sounds like, social distancing, like you come up with a name, right. To make it all seem palatable. But yeah, I mean, this is ongoing right now. So they're tweeting it out in the exact same thread like last week, tweet by tweet. So more are coming in. But I think we can expect to see a lot of topics and people that have been shadow banned or filtered, if you will.
Bongino was just on primetime. And Charlie was just on a couple weeks ago. So Dan Bongino is enemy number 1. They suppressed him, they shadow banned him, and then they lied about it. Dan, I guess, is just too powerful, too annoying to the liberals at Twitter. I can't make sense of it. I'm sure Dan is going to have something to say about this on his weekend show at 9 o'clock on Saturdays.
Oh, definitely. I'm sure he'll have something to say on Twitter momentarily. I always love reading his tweets. But I think for me, what's really, interesting about this and concerning is that, okay, yeah, we're joking. Dan Bongino has been censored, but he has a very prolific audience on our network. What about the people, like friends and family, right, that tweet about certain ideas, about their concerns about the vaccine or about, elections, different topics that are important to them, maybe their tweets have been suppressed as well. And so I think that flies in the face of what Twitter was trying to do, what was intended to do as a platform to encourage, public discourse.
And not only that, they were suppressing posts from medical doctors who had legitimate opinions about the threat that COVID did or didn't play towards children. And those legitimate concerns were suppressed. I mean, that is a huge, huge problem in this country, that was not allowed to be read.
Well, let me give you the big picture first. This is some Soviet-style bullshit right here. There's the big picture. You want to hear it? There's unfiltered Dan Bongino. This is, I've known this the whole time, just so you know, and it was called a conspiracy theory. I interact like you do with the audience on radio, my podcasts, and the TV. They email me, they send us through the website. I read their Facebook messages, not all of them, obviously, but I tried to read a good chunk of them. I've been told forever, so weird, I can't find you on Twitter. You're a check mark, whatever, verified account. The Bongino is not a common last name. It's not Joe Brown or John Smith. How come you don't come up? And it's interesting, when I spoke about this on my show and elsewhere, I was called a conspiracy theorist and a wacko. Just like I was called a conspiracy theorist over Spygate, over the impeachment hoax, over discussing the idea that cloth masks are not going to protect you from COVID. Now let me give you the even bigger picture, because I've become public enemy number one, not for crimes, Sean. I've committed no crimes. As a matter of fact, I investigated crimes and served this country doing so, both with the NYPD and the Secret Service. But these D-bags over at Twitter and elsewhere who've made me public enemy number one, this is just a beginning. You don't even know what's happened to me because I don't whine about it all day like whiny leftist snowflakes. My website's been banned by Google Ads for no describable reason whatsoever. I was banned by YouTube for suggesting that cloth masks don't work, which is now scientific fact. And now I find out I'm on a not safe for work shadow ban list on Twitter because I've committed the thought crime of being a conservative. Please, audience, look me in the face and tell me now, all you media clowns and goons and nuts who told me I was the crazy conspiracy theorist, tell me we live in a free country where three of the largest social media platforms that are the new public space we can all talk in, when an opinion guy like me cannot speak on these platforms or is restricted from doing so or banned in the case of YouTube, shadow banned in the case of Twitter. Tell me again how we live in a free country. You're the fourth estate. You're supposed to protect this stuff. You guys have a constitutional carve-out, the freedom of the press. It's literally written in the Constitution. And what do? You ignored this story the entire time. It's the biggest story of our time, the mass shadow banning of conservatives going on in this country by this big tech consortium right now.
Pour ceux qui veulent soutenir notre travail, les liens sont en description.
Vous n'avez pas entendu parler du Facteur ?
Les nouvelles du Facteur